Welcome back to Midlife Revamped. Today I'm taking you through a day in my life as a 40-something-year-old mom. On weekdays, my morning starts at 5:30 a.m. It's early, but now that I prioritize sleep, waking up before the sun actually feels good. By 6 a.m., I'm out the door to drop my son off at school. It's still dark, still quiet, and today I need to fill up my gas tank. It's not empty yet, but I might as well get it over with. When I get home, the first thing I do is put away the clean dishes. Growing up, we didn't have a dishwasher until I was 14 when we moved from our old homes in San Francisco to a new apartment in Las Vegas. Even then, my parents weren't used to using one, so it never became part of our routine. It wasn't until I moved in with my husband in my mid 20s that I actually started using one. But even today, with a full dishwasher, there are still pots, pans, water bottles, and cutting boards that need to be washed by hand. So, yes, I keep a dish rack on my counter. I've seen kitchens without dish racks, and honestly, how? Can someone please explain? I feel like my dishwasher gets used every single day, and my countertop dish rack is full every single night. Are you guys with me on this? Sometimes I wish I could have an empty countertop, but we aren't living in a model home though, right? It typically takes about 5 minutes to get the rack cleared, and then I clean my dish rack. By afternoon, I already have a lot of dishes in it. Next, I feed my sourdough starter. When I first asked a friend how to start sourdough, she told me it was like a science experiment. And now I completely understand. I'm hoping to make a loaf or two this afternoon. Some days the starter is bubbly and active. Other days it looks tired and needs a little extra encouragement. I stir it, add flour and water, and watch it come back to life. I use a scale and I measure out equal parts water and all purpose flour and mix it with the existing starter. And by the afternoon, if all goes well and it decides to cooperate, I'll start prepping my dough. This is when the kitchen starts to feel warm and cozy. Just think 5 years ago during the pandemic, I couldn't even tell you how to make a regular loaf of bread. Ever since I began making sourdough, people have asked if they could buy them from me. Maybe one day I'll have the desire to do that, but for now, I make enough for my family. It's a long process, and in order to make enough for everybody, I'd have to make several loaves at once. And I don't really have the equipment to make several loaves at once. Before officially launching into the rest of my day, I hydrate with hot water and read a few pages of whatever book I'm currently working through. I like to read before bed and again first thing in the morning. This year, I set a modest goal to read 18 books. I didn't want to set myself up for failure, but I ended up reading 31 books so far. With a few weeks left in the year, I'm hoping to finish at least 33. I use the Goodreads app to track every single book, and it's so much fun to be able to reflect back on the year. Is there something you keep track of? I know there's an app for everything. After that, it's breakfast time. Today, it's eggs, avocado, and pumpkin bread. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, and I usually like to make it count. I start with some kind of protein and carb combo, then follow it up with a bowl of fruit an hour or two later, and finally I make a coffee or tea depending on my mood. During my first and definitely not last trip to China, we had the luxury of indulging in an expansive breakfast buffet every single morning. If you don't know anything about Chinese food and beverages, it's that we like it hot. So there was rice, noodles, vegetables, soup, congee, which is a rice porridge, an assortment of steamed buns. We call them bao, but please don't say bao buns because that would be like saying bun bun. An omelet station, a noodle station, various fruits, not just soggy melons, loose leaf teas, and coffee. Let me tell you, it's very humbling coming back to America and just eating eggs and dry toast. Next up, work. I was recently brought on to help run a small clothing reselling business. I photograph, measure, and list clothing online, everything from vintage pieces to modern finds. This bin is full of t shirts, and honestly, it's fun to see everything my brother in law sources. He's a sourcing wizard. My other job is that of an event producer for a local nonprofit. I manage that position mostly remotely, except, of course, on event nights. Ever since I lost my position as the chef concierge, the manager of the concierge department at a major hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, my professional life has been a long and complicated journey. Going from managing teams, wearing business attire, and helping guests plan luxury experiences to working from home, doing odd jobs, and reinventing myself has been challenging in ways I didn't expect. There's freedom, yes, but also uncertainty. There's flexibility, but also the pressure to stay self motivated. And also, there is the lack of the paychecks that I'm used to getting. This chapter has taught me resilience, creativity, and the power of starting over in midlife. By the afternoon, I'm ready to prep my sourdough if my starter has doubled. Today, it hasn't, and I realize I don't have that much time anyway. The thing about working from home or working remotely is that to others, it might feel like you're not doing any work, but there's a lot of work to be done, and you're juggling it with the duties of home life. And just like that, the day circles back to mom duties. I wrap up my work, clean up the chaos I've created, and head out to pick up my son. So that's a day in the life of a 40 something year old mom. I'm balancing routines, rebuilding a career, tending to a home, and rediscovering myself in this stage of life. Thank you for spending the day with me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me as I continue exploring midlife, reinvention, motherhood, and everything in between.